Right then, this video is just about general questions. So, your general questions, okay, let's see if we can do a little bit on basics on drones. So, number one, do you know what? I'm not going to give them numbers, stuff it. So, first one is, do we have to register your drone? Basically, yes. Anything over 250 grams you have to register as an operator. You don't register the drone itself, okay? So you register as the operator and that's it. You put that operator ID on the drone, okay? You may have to do a flyer ID test depending upon the weight of your drone. So anything over 250 grams you will have to do a flyer ID test as well. Now, the flyer ID test is to show that you understand the rules around flying your drone in the open category. And this is so if you're caught in the wrong place or breaking the rules, you can get slapped with a fine, basically. If your aircraft is under 250 grams but can record, so it has a video or any kind of recording capability at all, then you must also register as a drone operator and you will put your operator ID on the drone again, okay? If it doesn't, so if it's just a normal racing drone for example but can't record the data at all, although it's got a camera but it doesn't record anything, okay, be it on your headset or the drone itself, you do not have to register as an operator, okay? So if it's a little helicopter that flies around the house for example, you don't need to register that if it's not got a camera that can record on it, okay? Next question, do you have to do any extra courses? Well, so is the A2 CFC, do you have to do it? No, you don't. Thanks to the BMFA, FPV UK, Article 16 may be the win for you, okay, so you've got to weigh up. If you're going to fly commercially, okay, A2 CFC will win. If you're flying for hobby, Article 16 wins. You don't have to spend £100 on a course. If you want to grab stuff for your YouTube channel and you're out in the countryside, you don't need A2 CFC, okay. The main bit will become insurance, but if you want to fly in an urban area, if your aircraft is over 250 grams, it is likely you're going to need the A2 CFC until we get the UK marked aircraft coming out, which they don't exist yet. So Article 16 may be the one that works for you. You just got to have a look at that video. Yeah, so it can be quite interesting between Article 16 and A2 CFC. Right, next, privacy rules. Okay, so GDPR. Okay, at this time of year it's not too bad, not many people out in their gardens. Even with a Mini you are going to have to be really careful on this, okay. So it's okay to capture people in the background. If you look at my roof inspection one, when I do a roof inspection, there is someone caught on camera walking past as I'm doing the shoot. And that you can't see who it is, you can't identify them, that's not a problem. If you're out in a public area, okay, and you capture someone by mistake, it's not the end of the world. As long as you don't publish their name, where they were, okay, and what time it was, you're not breaking any rules, okay. And the CA has no remit over privacy, okay, that's a different department, okay. However, just remember that summer's coming. When it comes, you know, a lot of people are overflying towns and cities now. You're going to have to really watch it when we go out into the gardens more, because if we're in another lockdown still, gardens are going to be full of people, okay? And a bit of respect is, or there's a general kind of rule, okay, that you must not fly in such a way to disturb someone's privacy, so they must be able to enjoy their own back garden, or you should be able to go into your back garden, be able to enjoy it without a drone buzzing and spying on you, okay. So, you know, I'm always one for overflight. I've always said yes to it, even with heavier aircraft than the Mini. but I'm always going to say, you know, stick to 60 to 80 meters when you're overflying, okay? Because if you've got that and the camera's pointing forwards, you're not going to catch people's faces. You know, it's going to be hard to tell what's going on because you're not looking straight down at it, okay? Capturing someone's back garden's not really a problem, because if it was, Google Maps wouldn't exist today. So it's about the people that are in it, okay? And with summer coming, barbecues and everything else, I'm going to say be really careful, okay? Got to think ahead on that. Now, the next one. Flyaways, how common are they? Well, they're a lot rarer than you think they are, okay? And it's typically it's user error. Typically it's not the drone's fault, okay? I have seen one fly away, but that was on a system where the GPS puck is on like a mount. So we used to have like the DJI Narza and the DJI Wukong and the DJI A2, okay, and the A3 from DJI. So you have a GPS puck, and this GPS puck sticks on a carbon pole. GPS puck sits on top, and what happens is this puck can become loose, okay, it falls and the drone shoots off. That's a flyaway. I've seen one of them in all my time, in 8 years. With normal stuff like the Phantom 4s or the Minis, a flyaway is typically because you've not let the GPS do its thing. It's not locked into its GPS correctly before you've taken off. And the biggest mistake is thinking that without GPS you cannot fly. All that's going to happen is in the wind is going to move the drone and push it about, okay? So if you fly against the wind pushing you, you're going to be fine. You can fly. The wind, no GPS does not stop you flying. Your aircraft does not fly away. It's all pilot error and not understanding that if you twiddle the sticks, the drone will still do what you want it to. Okay? A flyaway is when you power it up, okay, and you don't do anything, and then it goes off. And then you go, ah, bugger. Or it's in the air, right? And without any kind of warning, it then just takes off towards China because it wants to go home. Okay, that's a flyaway. So they're not that rare, and DJI Refresh now will cover you. So DJI, go to their website to see details. You will have to link your account, okay, to your drone, your DJI Refresh to your drone, getting it for free, okay. It links it to your account, so if you get a flyaway, okay, you get a replacement drone, and it's about half price, roughly. There is a cost, but it's about half, okay. So DJI are offering that up. So you can quite clearly tell there are not that many flyaways, okay, that are the hardware's fault. If DJI saying, oh, we'll cover that, we'll do you a thing where it's like half price, which also probably shows how much DJI make on an aircraft, because I'm willing to bet that replacement aircraft is at least cost price, if not a bit more, versus what it costs for DJI to make it, or they won't offer such a service. Now, batteries. Batteries, how long do they last? Between 200 to 300 charges. Batteries are chemical and they will break down over time. Okay, so there's always going to be that kind of effect that's going on with batteries. And you've got to watch out for it. You'll start to see a battery start to fade. So they just start not to last as long. Okay, store them around 60% if you want them to last a long time, but anything at 75% to 50%, generally in that region, your battery will be stored quite nicely. Okay, and remember, the Mini doesn't auto discharge its batteries, so after 10 days or so you may just want to hover your aircraft indoors for a bit. Just let it sit there, hover it, get your battery down to about 70–60% and turn it off, and it'll be fine until you need it again. Okay, and then charge them the day before. Okay, storing your batteries, try and keep them somewhere nice and safe. Be careful, because LiPo batteries and or lithium ion, when they go, they just go. You can't put out a LiPo fire straight away or lithium ion. With a LiPo, it's a chemical reaction. Even if you put that battery in water, it will not matter, okay? You must let the battery burn for around a minute. I know it's scary as hell, okay, but the area around the fire where it started, control the outer area of the battery burn, okay, and after about 60 seconds to 90 seconds, you can then hit the main battery to try and put it out, okay. Lithium ion or Li-ion batteries like the Mini, just get them out. Just get them out, submerge them in water. They're slightly different to LiPo, lithium ion. They're like car batteries, like the Tesla car batteries. If they go, you know, they can burn quite badly. So those kind of batteries, get rid of them. Typically, if you can, charge on a fire blanket is my advice, or a metal container, okay? Like a baking tray or something. Your wife will love you for that. True. Can you fly at night? Yes, you can fly at night. There's no special course for that. If you're doing commercial work, of course, you will have EC 785 2004. The flashing light you put on your drone must be on the top of it, okay, so other aircraft can see it. And then in the wisdom, someone at YASA says, well, put a green flashing light on it so everyone knows it's a drone. However, how do they know it's not a manned aviation turning starboard all the time? Why didn't they just put a white flashing light on it? Because all you need to know is there's an aircraft up there. It doesn't matter what size it is, does it? It's completely irrelevant. So why it's just not a white flashing light, I've no idea. It's like, oh, why? I don't know. I don't know. There's got to be some sort of special reason for it being green instead of just a normal white strobe that's just doing this. Anyway, so yes, it must be on top of the drone so all aviation can see it. If you can put one underneath it, and you want to put one underneath, put a white flashing one so you can see it, okay? But green must be on top for manned aviation. Insurance, it's recommended. For commercial work, it must be EC 785 2004, okay? Now, that's only for commercial. However, if you're hobby flying and using Article 16 or anything like that, FPV UK and BMFA, your insurance is included in the membership, which means £20 a year, okay, with FPV UK, you get 5 million third-party insurance, okay, you've got DJI Refresh to cover the flyaway, and you can use Article 16. It is the best of all worlds, okay? And if you want to do commercial work, you can just get commercial work flying insurance for the day if you need it. You know, and if you want to fly in urban areas, you'll have to get your A2 CFC, okay, for commercial work, ideally, because Article 16, you cannot use it for commercial. Can you take videos and photos for your YouTube channel? Yes, you can, not a problem. Even if it's for monetising it or whatever it is, doesn't matter. CA is not really worried about that kind of things. You could do that with your hobby insurance, okay? It's only when you start going out doing property shoots and stuff like that, you really want to think about commercial insurance, okay? Can you make money as a drone pilot? You can. I know people that are very successful at it, actually more successful than me. So yes, but remember, any business can take up to 2 years to get going, okay? If you charge £50 a time, you won't last long because you'll never cover your bills. Remember, you've got to cover all your bills. There's a video on that. See the video. Okay, my background, someone asked about my background. Over 20 years of RC flying, so I've flown everything from jets to model helicopters to 5-meter gliders. I have flown all kinds of cool stuff. I hold my BMFA plane A, helicopter B, being a club instructor. I fly FPV. I do all kinds of stuff. I hold my GVC and I hold my A2 CFC. As well, I hold my YASA for the A3 Open Cat and my A1 Cat in YASA. If you get through the channel, you'll see how to do all this, and you'll see some of the cool stuff that I've flown. The Trinity is one of the more interesting drones I've flown, and that's a VTOL. Go and check it out. Best apps for your drone? Well, number one is the software is the actual app designed to be used with the drone. DJI Go 4, DJI Fly. If you've got a DJI aircraft, number one is those DJI apps. After that, okay, depends what you want to do with your drone, because you might want to use Drone Deploy or Pix4D or Litchi. Any of them are really good, but to begin with, stick with the main DJI ones. Okay. For airspace though, don't rely on DJI's app at all. Okay, so Guardian by Altitude Angel is good. That's a really good one, and that's Drone Assist. Okay, although both of them are supporting UTMs, and I have little time for that. If I could find a better app that did what they did, but without sponsoring or trying to get into the UTM world, I would definitely be using it. Do not install Air Maps. Air Maps are out to make us pay per takeoff. They've already published it on Twitter, saying that, you know, they'd be able to tax £16 per takeoff and landing. That's absolutely outrageous. And if anyone thinks that Air Maps would stop in America and that's their only goal, you're sadly mistaken. They've been buttering up to NATS and the CA for a while now to do this kind of stuff, so watch out. Don't install Air Maps. Next one, uploading videos to Facebook. Facebook destroys quality. Facebook is social media. Facebook is not a video site. Okay, so my advice is get a free YouTube account and you upload to YouTube. Okay, and when you do your videos, please do a start, do a middle, and do an end. Okay, so you do your opening shot. Okay, then you'll do your stuff where you fly around, and then you're going to do the bit where you have your closing shot. If your video is of you flying around for 5 minutes, right, going to be bored. YouTube videos typically around 3 minutes are around about best, okay, for drone footage. And yes, I know this video is longer than 3 minutes. I'm sorry. Can you hold Article 16 and an A2 CFC? Yes, you can hold a CA operational authorization. You can hold a so that's the GVC, by the way, with the GVC. You can hold an A2 CFC. You can hold an Article 16. You can fly in the open category. The important bit with all this is, before you take off, you have the intention of doing a flight for a particular reason. So let's say you went to a park, right, and Article 16, you were going to use it. So you take off, you fly around the park with Article 16, okay, and you land. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. However, if you then went, right, I'm going to go and I want to fly with under the A2 CFC, but I'm going to fly from my back garden with that, that's fine. You can do that, okay, as long as you in your head you've got you make the choice what you're going to do. You can't flip halfway through. So you can't do an Article 16 flight and then switch to an A2 CFC flight halfway through it. I can't fly with my operational authorization, okay, be halfway through a flight and then flip it to be an A2 CFC flight. I can't do that, okay. The flight is what it is before you take off, okay. I know it's complicated. What SD card should you use? The fastest one you can buy, okay. It is literally the fastest. You don't go for anything less than 90 megabytes write speed, okay, and you want it to be U3, and it's got to be I believe it's an 80. It'll appear behind me, whatever the spec card is, it'll come up behind me. All I know is that I use SanDisk and I just go for the fastest ones I can get, and that's it. Size, if you put a 128 gigabyte card in your drone and you come back with 128 gigabytes of data after flying all day, oh my god, where are you going to put it all? Where are you going to put it all? Please, you know, where? You can't. If you shoot that, that's a lot of stuff. My Mac Mini only has a 256 gigabyte hard drive in it. If I shot two 128s, it's full. I'm screwed. Only get what you need to get. Okay. Trust me, and we don't want to be bored with all the boring footage anyway. And stop caching your files on your phone or device. If it's struggling with processing power, turn off the cache, okay, and clear out some space. Now, editing your photos and videos. I'm on a Mac, so I use Final Cut Pro. Okay, I use iMovie, Photoshop or Luminar. That's it. I don't have a problem with Final Cut. I think Final Cut's great. iMovie, if you don't want to splash, iMovie is very good. It's free. You'll find it in your apps folder. Okay, and then Photoshop and Luminar 4 are really good. Also, you can use DaVinci Resolve. There's Lightroom, there's Premiere Pro, and you can get these on the PC as well. Can't get anything for the Mac like Final Cut, you will not find it on the PC. Okay, but you know, it's down to whatever you. It's software is abundant. I don't understand how people can edit on a phone this big, doing all this. No, I can't understand that. Just edit on a big screen. But I do get it. Not everyone's got computers nowadays. Your life is on your phone, which means if your phone gets damaged or you lose it, you're kippered. So yeah. Right, where can you fly? Where can you fly your drone? You're looking for new places to fly your drone. Video on that, just there somewhere. What drones do I fly? Well, as I said earlier, I fly all kinds of stuff. And I fly fixed wing, which I have 2 of here. I've got a Phantom 4 Pro, I've got a Mini, and I've got a bunch of RC planes. Okay, I don't put all the crap I've got as a drop behind me because there's not enough space. And the last thing, at least I will never put something like a Parrot Discovery behind me because they're just not. You don't have to fly to have one of them. So you know, if you ever see a YouTube channel got a Discovery on the back wall, you know they can't fly. It's a bit harsh. I know, it's a bit harsh, yeah, so yeah, you know, but it's I fly everything, give me a chance, you know, even big VTOLs, so yeah, I get to fly all kinds of cool stuff.